we go! Go the Cowboys!
Hey guys, Sean here. Just want to do a big shout out to Rugby League Coffee Lounge. All the best this year, 2020.
Alright, oh yeah! Fuck!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to the NFA Dally M Awards Show. Now, what we're going to do tonight, apologies about that. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to go through my Dally M Team of the Year, my Dally M medalist, who I believe has been the best player this year, and we're also going to go through the Coach of the Year. And, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. Now, obviously, this is not my predictions for the Dally M. This is just my Team of the Year. That's why I've called it the NFA Dally M Award Show. So, who I think has been the best center, the best fullback, winger, you name it. Like, I'm going to go through it. And we're going to see what you guys think. If you guys agree with my selections, if you disagree with my selections, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So, without further ado, before we get into it, hello to the chat. Oh, Jesus Christ, we've got a bit of a crowd building up here. Hello, Luke Melbourne Storm fan, Jason Reader, SS Storm fan, Marley Prime, Josh Rabbitohs 2023. We've got Tom. We've got William Pearson. Hello, everyone that's tuning in. I hope you guys are all well. CJ Moxley, I see up there as well. Marley. Hello, lads. I hope you're all doing well on this very, very nice Thursday night, September 14, 2023, and it is 7:33 p.m. Right. What we're going to do to begin, we're going to start off with the Team of the Year. Now, this is going to be from 1 through to 13, the Team of the Year. It's always difficult to come up with a Team of the Year because there's a lot of quality players in quality positions. Let's start off with the fullback. Fullback of the Year. We already know. It's Reece Walsh. Fullback of the Year goes to Reece Walsh. I think he's been the best fullback of the 2023 NRL season. He has been dynamite. He's been consistent. He's been very good in attack, and he's been pretty good in defense. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, he's made a lot of errors, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's because he's not afraid to make an error, to look for an opportunity to score a try or set one up. So Reece Walsh, I mean, he's been outstanding. Obviously played for Queensland in the state of origin, and he'll be involved in the preliminary final next week. So I think everyone would agree. Reece Walsh, fullback of the year. Now let's get to the wingers. The wingers are actually a very open spot this year. There's a lot of guys you can choose from. The first winger, I've got to go with my man Jamayne ISSAKO. Jamayne ISSAKO has been fantastic. He is the top try scorer. He's been outstanding for the Dolphins. I think he was also the top point scorer as well for the Finns. Jamayne ISSAKO has had a very good season for the Dolphins. I've actually been very impressed with ISSAKO. He's there he is here. Look, 244 points this year, and he's actually got 24 tries. But before the final series started, ISSAKO, I think he was the leading try scorer. So ISSAKO, I think he deserves to be the one of the wingers of the year, because if you have a look at it, Alex Johnson last year was the top try scorer, and he was actually one of the wingers of the year. So let's go to the other winger, and I know it might be a boring one, but Brian Toto. Brian Toto has been fantastic as always. He just constantly runs for 200 meters. He gets the sets rolling from the back end of the field for the Panthers and very consistent at state of origin level as well. I think Bizza has been very good. And, I've seen a few people online say that he's had a quieter year than what he's normally had. It's just the thing is, 200 meters for Brian Toto it's just a standard game for him. So, like, the numbers that he brings up and the way he plays, he's just constantly a freak. So, Brian Toto, definitely the other winger of the year alongside Jermaine ISSAKO. Now, let's go to the centers, and we're going to start off with Bradman Best. I think Bradman Best has been phenomenal. I know it might be a bit of a different opinion, like a different selection, but I think Bradman Best, ever since he got selected for New South Wales in the state of origin, he's just gone to a whole new level. Like, he has been more consistent. He's playing much better footy as well. So Bradman Best, like, he's playing on that left side, and he's just carving up for the Newcastle Knights, and he's been very good. So I think Bradman Best deserves a spot as one of the centers of the year. The other center of the year, I got to go Stephen Crichton, man. Like, Stephen Crichton has been fantastic. I know it's a bit like the Brian Toto thing for Stephen Crichton. If he scores a try or two, like he normally does, or he runs for big meters, it's just a standard game for Stephen Crichton. But he's been outstanding. Like, obviously, Stephen Crichton played Origin again this year, and he was probably New South Wales' best player, to be completely honest. And he's backed that up at club level, and he's been very consistent. So I think Stephen Crichton definitely deserves his spot as one of the centers of the year alongside Bradman Best. Now, the 5'8" position, it was very hard to pick the 5'8" for the year. Cody Walker had it for probably the first 20 rounds, and then I reckon he lost it because South fell off a cliff. So, for me, the 5'8" of the season, I can't go past Ezra Mam. Ezra Mam has been phenomenal. I was this close to actually going with Tom Dearden, but you have a look at what Ezra Mam's done this year at the Broncos, the way he's played, the combination he's built up with Adam Reynolds, constantly learning as well. I know he's missed a lot of tackles, Ezra Mam, but I feel like if you have a look at his season overall, he's been extremely good. He's been outstanding. So, I mean, some would probably still argue, Cody Walker or Jerome Luai. Some might even throw in a Tom Dearden. But I think if you have a look at it, at the end of the day, I think Ezra Mam deserves his spot. I didn't even mention Cameron Munster. I think Munster's been probably fairly quiet to what he normally would be. So I think Ezra Mam, 5'8" for the year, I think he genuinely deserves it. Now, the halfback of the season, the best halfback of the year, Shaun Johnson. And you know what? It's not even close. It's not even close. Shaun Johnson has been out of this world. He has been consistently great for the Warriors. He has been an absolute gun, setting up tries, scoring tries, leading the Warriors. Shaun Johnson, halfback of the year. I know you've got a lot of great halfbacks in the competition, like, Nathan Cleary, Daly Cherry Evans, Nico Hines, and all these sort of players, Adam Reynolds and whatnot. But Johnson has been a level above all of them this year, and I think he deserves the halfback of the year. So, SJ, halfback of the year for the Wars. Let's go to the front rowers now, and I think the first front row we start off with here is ADDIN FONUA-BLAKE from the Warriors. AFB, fucking outstanding season. He's averaging big running meters. Doesn't mind a try or two here and there. AFB. He has great footwork. He's been outstanding. ADDIN FONUA-BLAKE. I think he's had one hell of a year. So I think FONUA-BLAKE probably picks himself. I think he's probably one of the front rows that is probably a no-brainer for mine. So FONUA-BLAKE, definitely one of the props of the year, alongside Payne Haas, who's just been out of this world, man. Payne Haas is probably the best prop in the NRL. Between him and FONUA-BLAKE, I can't really split them. There's nothing between them. They're both extremely extremely consistent and pretty incredible for mine. Haas, FONUA-BLAKE. I don't really care who you have a number one. They're both the top two anyway. So I think Payne Haas probably picks himself. So Payne Haas and ADDIN FONUA-BLAKE are probably the two best props of the year. Now, we're going to get to a controversial one here. The dummy half. Hooker of the year. This is going to be an extremely controversial one. Some won't see it coming. But for me, the best hooker of the 2023 NRL season is the workhorse himself, Wayde Egan. Wayde Egan equals underrated. He does a lot of hard work for the Warriors. I have been so impressed with Wayde Egan this year. It's not even funny. I think he's been awesome. He has been very good for the Warriors. He's tackling like a machine. I can't think of a bad. I can't name a bad thing that Wayde Egan's done this year. Like, he's been very good for the Warriors. He's had a great season. Defensively, very good as well. So you know what, Wayde Egan, hooker of the year, and I think he deserves it. So I'm going with Wayde Egan. I know some will argue Harry Grant. Some will argue probably a Blake Brayley or an Abby Coruscant, or one of these sort of players. But I honestly believe Wayde Egan deserves the hooker of the year. I think he's been the best 9 all year. So I'm giving it to Wayde Egan. That's my hooker of the year anyway. And let's go to the back row. The back row was actually quite fun, and some of it was difficult to go with. But the back rowers, first one, HAUMOLE OLAKAU'ATU. Gee, HAUMOLE's been good. HAUMOLE's been consistent. It's an absolute disgrace that HAUMOLE OLAKAU'ATU wasn't picked for New South Wales in the state of origin. We all know this. We said it at the time, and we all know how much of a bad decision that was from the New South Wales selectors. OLAKAU'ATU on that right edge for Manly has been outstanding, causing dramas, scoring plenty of tries, hitting lots of lines and gaps, and running over players at will. So, look, HAUMOLE, very consistent season for mine. I know Manly didn't play finals, but HAUMOLE has been an incredible back rower this year. So, the first back rower of the year for me goes to HAUMOLE OLAKAU'ATU. And the other back rower of the season is someone that's also been consistent, but this team actually played finals. BRITON NIKORA. He has been phenomenal for the Sharks. Absolutely phenomenal, especially on that right edge. Like, Nikora's running off them beautiful short balls and offload, or those beautiful short balls and those beautiful face balls from Nico Hines. Nikora's been very good. I've actually been very impressed with BRITON NIKORA. He's had a good season. I know some people are going to argue, oh, where's David Fafita, or where's Liam Martin, blah, blah, blah. I think Nikora's been consistent since the whole season. Fafita's had some games where he's been fairly quiet. Nikora has as well, but I think Nikora's really stood out. And the Gold Coast didn't have a good season as well. So it's like, Nikora's been good. Fafita, like, he's definitely been, like, Fafita would be up there, like, for sure. Like, if someone did their own list of this and they had Fafita, then I guess they got it, they got a case. But you look at Nikora, he has been outstanding for the Sharks. And I think at one stage during the season, the great Willie Mason come out and said that he's the best back row in the game. And you know what? It's hard to disagree with Willie Mason about that. I think Nikora is definitely right up there. So for me, HAUMOLE OLAKAU'ATU and BRITON NIKORA are the two second rowers of the season. Now let's go to the lock of the year, and I think you guys know who I'm going to go with here. We're going to go with Patrick Carrigan from the Broncos. Paddy Carrigan, he's been outstanding, absolutely outstanding, Patrick Carrigan. I think he's been phenomenal this season. Obviously, a great leader at the Broncos. Obviously, the lock for Queensland and the State of Origin team. Carrigan has been extremely consistent. He's extremely important to the Broncos. We all know how much he adds to the side. So, I think Isaiah Yo definitely misses out this season. I think Cam Murray misses out. I think Cotter misses out as well because Cotter didn't move to lock until probably like late in the year. And I guess Tulu Harris is probably a really good shout. Like, you look at Tulu Harris, he'd be right up there as well for me. But I think Carrigan just stands out above them all. So Patrick Carrigan is my 2023 lock of the season. Harris, Murray, probably the closest to Carrigan, but I think Carrigan edges them all out. All right. So that's the team of the year done. I'll just go through it again quickly in case you missed it. Fullback, Reece Walsh. On the wings, JAMAYNE ISSAKO and Brian in the centers, Bradman Best and Stephen Crichton. In the halves, we've got Ezra Mam and Shaun Johnson. Front row of ADDIN, FONUA-BLAKE and Payne Haas. Wade Egan at hooker. The back row of HAUMOLE, OLAKAU'ATU and BRITON, NIKORA. And at lock, we've got Patrick Carrigan. So that's my Dally M team of the year. Now let's get to my coach of the year. Now, coach of the year is always a difficult process to select. It's very difficult to work out who is the best coach of the year. Now, for me, there's plenty of contenders here. You've got Ivan Cleary, who would be one contender. Panthers on top once again, minor premiers, looking for a three-peat. What more can Ivan Cleary really do to be the coach of the year? Then you've got Kevin Walters. If you had told me at the start of the year the Broncos were going to finish second, I would have said you're probably going a bit over the top there with that prediction, but it did happen, so you got to give him some credit for that. Kevin Walters has done a fantastic job at the Broncos. You've got Andrew Webster from the Warriors. If you had told me at the start of the year that the Warriors were going to be in the top 4, let alone the top 8, I would have said you're off your chops, but it's happened. So Andrew Webster is definitely a great contender as well. And the fourth contender, the final contender, I think it would be Adam O'Brien. The Newcastle Knights have come from nowhere. They have gone on this incredible 10-game win streak. They have finished the season in 5th on the ladder. They missed out on the top 4 by 2 games. So Adam O'Brien would be the other one. So you've got Ivan Cleary, you've got Kevin Walters, you've got Andrew Webster, and you've got Adam O'Brien. They're the 4 coaches for me that are the best this year. But I've got to pick one. I've got to pick one coach. So in my opinion, the 2023 Dally M, Nick from Australia, Coach of the Year, it's got to be Andrew Webster. I think he deserves this. I think Andrew Webster has done a remarkable job with the Warriors. At the start of the year, when everyone's doing their, preseason predictions and we're doing our ladder predictions and, we're talking about Dally M and whatnot, Webster has done a remarkable job. The Warriors, like we said, the expectation of them was probably somewhere between 8th and 12th. Some had them in the bottom 4. So for them to go this well, end up in 4th, and obviously they have a home semi-final this weekend against the Newcastle Knights, it's a remarkable effort. And look, I know people are going to be saying if he goes out in straight sets, how's he the coach of the year? I'm pretty sure the Dally M Awards stop once regular season finishes. So finals don't even come into it at that stage. But look, I think Andrew Webster's done a phenomenal job. We were all concerned about the lack of front rows that the Warriors had at the start of the year, and FONUA-BLAKE was the only one they got. Well, we've seen the improvement of Mitch Barnett. We've seen the improvement of Tom Arley, Bunty Afoa. We've seen the improvement of Jackson Ford. Harris is back to his best. We've seen Josh Curran play a good role off the bench for the Warriors. Like, they've done very well. So I think Andrew Webster is, without a doubt, the 2023 Coach of the Year. And the final award, let's go to the Dally M. Dally M Player of the Year. Now, look, I know this is probably one that's easy, but I just want to throw a few contenders out there. I think Reece Walsh is a good contender for this. Shaun Johnson. I think Kalen Ponga's had a great season. I think Nico Hines would be up there. I think Daly Cherry Evans would be up there. But in the end, again, you can only pick one. And for me, the Dally M player of the year, the best NRL player of this entire season, and in my opinion, the current best in the world, it's got to be Shaun Johnson. Shaun Johnson has just been out of this world, man. Shaun Johnson's had a fucking awesome season, man. Like, I can't explain to you how good he has been. Like, you take him out of that Warriors team. We saw how bad the Warriors were against Penrith the other day. Without him, they were a mess. And I'm not saying if Shaun Johnson plays, the Warriors win, but it definitely would have been a closer game than 32-6. It would have been a lot better than that. So, Shaun Johnson, for me, is the Dally M player of the year. He's been absolutely outstanding. So, you guys can let me know. I think he deserves it. And I'm just going to put someone on timeout again because it's just, you can't be spamming the chat like that, mate. It's not good enough. So, look, Shaun Johnson, Dally M player of the year. I think he definitely deserves the award. And if he doesn't win it, I expect riots in New Zealand, and the NRL HQ will be surrounded by all the Warriors fans, especially the ones that are in Australia. So if Shaun Johnson's not the Dally M, then I don't know what I'm talking about because he has to be Dally M. I can't name anyone else. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that will wrap up my Dally M award show, I suppose. That will wrap things up here. You guys can let me know your Dally M team of the year and who your, position-wise, who's been the best in certain positions. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up here. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Melbourne Storm Sydney Roosters semi-final review. Anyway, guys, until tomorrow, take care, and I'll see you guys then.